Welcome back, folks. I'll just take my word for it. This is another episode of Numbers and Cents. I'm going to show you a little bit now the dynamics of what's really going on globally. As I said, Egypt, $70 billion divided over, worst case scenario, 90 million Egyptians would yield them about $777 per person, or $778, which wouldn't help them very much over the long term. But then I'm saying that only because of my lack of knowledge, my ignorance on how they could use, if all of them got equally divided, $770 some odd tomorrow out of the 70 billion, how every one of them could benefit. So let's take a country like Mexico, our next door neighbor in the U.S., and they have, let's say, 160 million people. I'm just saying worst case scenario. They have 160 million people in Mexico, and you were to, let me clear that. Let's say out of the 160 million people, you would have given them, let's say, $900 billion. Let's say billion with a B. $900 billion, right? $900 billion, right? Divided by 160 million people. $160 million Mexican citizens. They would get $5,625 each. And that would be quite a help to them. But then again, if we don't have implementation of new financial rules and new financial structure, and get rid of this British pound US dollar based structure and a global structure of cooperation, folks, that money is not going to do very much for anyone of our fellow citizens and Mexican neighbors. So $5,625. Oh, they'll have a party or two, a little bit of fun here and there, but it won't last over the long term unless we have a global modular economic system where countries can be trusted to make certain aspects, a few items or a few critical things that we need, or several things that we need, as each individual consumes more than 200 various items, different items in their lifetime regularly. They need at least 50 or 100 different things regularly in their lives, over and over, using again. And countries can be allotted several things dedicated to be manufactured by each country, and everybody gets involved in the process of making it in the component in a rudimentary fashion, with quality control centers in various regions of the towns and cities and states of those countries. No country infringing on another one's assignment, or how, for lack of a better word, dedicated assignment, manufacturing assignment and items. This way, among other things involving agriculture, etc., people will have a sustainable and continued income to look forward to for their family, current as well as contemporary and succeeding generations, for other things as technology advances, but still keeping a manufacturing paradigm in the hands of the people. So, as I said, over 160 million Mexican neighbors that we have, and those billions of dollars, as I said, 900 billion, that's what they would get. $900 billion for every one of the Mexican people. They would get $5,625. Now, if you look at ourselves, of the US of A, let's say you were to give $1 trillion, and we have about 300 million, about 310 million people, but all of those people are not adults. right? But let's say $1 trillion divided by 310 million for worst case scenario. All right. Let's say from the breadth of the Pacific to the Atlantic, from the northern borders of Canada down to the Rio Grande and borders of Texas, Arizona, etc. $310 million. 310 million American citizens. See how money is corrupt in my mind? 310 million American citizens. That's $1 trillion. Every one of them, every one of us, since I'm an American speaking to you, we get 3,000, and mind the decimal, since it starts with an 8, you move up one up higher. 3,225.8064, such and such, it starts with 8, you just say 3,226. 3,200, or to be safe, you would say 3,225 since it's money. Mathematically, you can go up to 6, but monetarily, you go down to 5. $3,225. And now you know, folks, that money wouldn't last very long. And that is $1 trillion divided and given out to each American. $3,225. Now, if you got a miracle sum, which is not going to happen, $10 trillion. Well, I don't even need to get into that. You know what that would be. That would be about $32,000 to each American. But how do you make it so that out of that money, that each one can continue making that much money themselves without having to give to them? 10 trillion. Give them all in one shot, right? $10 trillion to every American, or allotted to every American, and train them out of that money to be able to continue to make $32,000 and some odd dollars on their own. That is the key, folks. That's where we need to be, not talking about $70 billion or such and such $1 billion here, such and such $100 billion there, handout there, a gratuity there, all temporary stuff. The long term is training actionable skills, machine tooling, manufacturing capability, where people can be useful to other people, to other countries, to their states, to the municipalities, to their societies, and they in turn are recognized and paid for that effort in joint, but in a modular way as well. That is the key, folks, and it's being ignored and it's being overlooked, and sometimes I believe deliberately because of greed. So that is thus far the end. This is thanks to Android, Google Android, Numbers and Cents. Folks, that's this episode of Numbers and Cents. Be well, think clearly, and live as little as possible within your means. Live minimalist, folks. That's where your freedom lies.